Hello, my name is Dylan. I am the Vice President, Co-founder, and Treasurer for the Twin Suns Foundation, a Star Wars-themed nonprofit that seeks to spread reading and literacy through Star Wars by donating Star Wars books, mainly Legends books, to children's hospitals, schools, recreation center, and community centers, as well as anywhere else that will accept them. Wanted to take today to go over our campaign for this year, kind of explain what we're doing and how it's a little bit different from what we've done previously. Now, as many of you know, 2024 is actually a very special year as it marks the 10-year anniversary since the Star Wars Expanded Universe was discontinued, decanonized, and branded Legends. Um, we know that there are many different plans about things to do movement-wise this year, and we wanted to do our own thing to commemorate this year. And we think the best way of doing that and staying with our goals is to do what we're going to be calling 10 donations for 10 years. So for every year, it's been since the decanonization 10 years, we do one donation event where we bring Star Wars books, mainly Legends books, along with costumed volunteers from 501st to Children's Hospital or Community Center or some other place that'll accept the books. So instead of having in previous years where we do donation events in May and October, this will be spread out over the course of the year. We'll be raising money for all of them at the same time, and the donation events will go all year. The total goal for that is $5,000, and every time we hit a $500 threshold, we do an event. Now, there is a potential, if we do really well, for more if we pass that goal, but we are aiming to hit that 10 donation event. So $5,000 is, of course, the goal, so we can do 10 events. For each event, we are looking at bringing at least $40 minimum, which $500 should be able to ensure that we get at least 40 books. This means that in total, we are looking at bringing a minimum of 400 books, which would actually be one of the highest years we've ever had outside of a year we have a con, and will easily put us over the 2,000 total books, Star Wars books brought in the Foundation's history. Now, again, how this will work, unlike in previous years where we have the hospital lined up ahead of time, we have the 501st already scheduled, and we basically tell you this is where it's going to happen. This is what you're donating to. We are just going to have the fundraiser up, and once we hit a $500 threshold, we will then work on getting the hospital or community center or school event lined up. Now, we do actually have a few events that are either lined up or we are fairly confident from past years that we can get on short notice, which as thus we can announce right now, along with some goals, as we already know when these events are going to happen. So some goals that we have that we'd like to hit, and some deadlines we have for these events. So the first event that we actually do have, and the only one we actually do have scheduled for the year, is the Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital in Hollywood, Florida. This is the one we were actually teasing last year that we had in the works, and it is going to be happening on May 4th of this coming year. As such, we have a tentative goal that we would like to have at least $1,500 raised by mid-April. Now, the reason it's $1,500 and not $500 because it's $500 per event. The first $500 we raise will, of course, go to this one, but as there are a lot, as May obviously has Star Wars Day, both on the 4th and the 25th, we anticipate that the month of May will be a very in-demand month for donation events. So the ones we have lined up that we are working on getting a date for, we expect one, maybe two of them will probably request it in May. So we'd like to have $1,500 raised by April so that we can do both this event and at least one, maybe two other events also in May. Now, speaking of those other events that we don't actually have scheduled yet, but we're in talks with the hospitals, and we already have good relationships both with the hospitals and the local chapters of the 501st, meaning that we're pretty confident in our ability to get them on short notice, are as follows. The first of those is the Phoenix Children's Hospital in Phoenix, Arizona, which I believe we have done 3 events with in the past. This event date is, of course, to be determined once we either have the funds or we get confirmation from them on when they want the events. The second is the Children's Hospital of Orange County in Orange, California, or CHOC as it's called. This one has had 2 events, most recently last year, as well as the Holland Bloorview one. Again, we're fairly confident that we can get an event done here, which is why we're announcing it. And the third is the Scottish Rite Hospital for Children in Dallas, Texas. Again, date to be determined. Again, another one we've worked with twice in the past. We're fairly confident that we can get this one done. Now, as for the rest of them, the additional locations are, of course, to be determined. As I said, this year will be a little different. How it'll work is that every single time we hit a $500 threshold, we will immediately start working on getting the next event actually scheduled. We have some proposed locations and some volunteers lined up ready that could potentially take them. But again, as this is for our fundraising goal, our biggest goal yet, and we're projecting this to be our biggest year yet, the last thing we want to do is we don't want to promise an event that we can't do. So the remaining events will be announced at a later date as we get the funds and as we get more of a clear picture as to what the year is like. So please, for information on those, follow us, Twinsons Foundation, on Twitter. I believe her handle is at TwinsonsF. I'll leave the link in the comments, and on Facebook as well. That's where we get the most up-to-date information out there. Now, here's how you can help. Obviously, the easiest way to help is if you can't donate, is to simply share the fundraisers out, get the news out there. This is what we're doing, and let people know how this year is going to work. Again, this fundraiser will be going all year, though the quicker that we can get funds in, the quicker we can start scheduling these events. So the quicker you can you donate, the better. To donate, you can go to twin-sons.net/donate. As I know there's been a big confusion on how the website works. What you do to donate, a lot of people will go to the thermometer and click the donate button, or click the donate button at the bottom of the screen, and the screen refreshes and it looks the same, and like it didn't change. What you actually have to do is, once you hit the donate button, is to scroll down until you see this donor information form. Fill that out. Confirm you're not a robot. Hit process donation, and that'll send you over to the PayPal side where you can complete the donation. Any amount helps, obviously, and as we said, it'll be going all year. So if you can't at the beginning of the year, you can at the end of the year. We'll, as long as the year is going, we'll be raising funds for these events. So that is all. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, take care.